Welcome to this week's edition of the CHS Weekly Report. I'm your host, Brent Martinson, and this week my guests are members of the Chesterton High School production of the 2022 Madrigal performance. Thanks for coming in today. Why don't we first start introducing yourself and tell us what grade you're in and what role you're playing in Madrigal this year.
All right, my name is Atrosh. I'm a senior, and this year I'll be playing some shows as a madrigalist and some as a head server.
I'm Emily, and I'm a senior, and I'll be a server and a head server.
My name's Natalie Arney, and this year I will be Lady of the House.
Hello, my name is Fowler, and I will be the steward.
My name's Chris Wards, and I will be the Lord of the House this year.
Okay, so I'm going to ask what those roles mean, what you are going to actually be doing. Why don't we start with you,
All
Abby?
right. So as a head server, we kind of are in charge of serving. It's the drifters that get to serve, so we are in charge of serving the sandpipers at the head table. And then when I'm a madrigalist, I'll be sitting at the head table singing with the sandpipers.
Okay.
So Abby just explained what a head server was, so I'll be doing that. And when I'm a regular server, it just means that I serve all of the regular guests.
As far as Lady of the House and Lord of the House, I mean, it's pretty much just like we serve as the host of the whole madrigal. So we're kind of like the two main hosts of it all.
Oh,
so.
You got a big role.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
As the steward, I am in charge of announcing all the guests that come into the house, and I am also in charge of bringing the boar's head out and informing all the guests of the rules they must follow.
And like we said, the Lord of the House, he's kind of, they're both the leader of the pack. They're kind of just there, and they're the hosts of everything. So we're kind of up front and center.
So, Chris, is this your first performance in Madrigal, or how many times have you done this?
This is not my first performance. I have done Madrigal all 4 years. Last year, I was fortunate enough to play steward, and this year, I'm the Lord of the House. So I've gotten to do everything that I've wanted to, so it's pretty cool.
Great. How about everybody else? Abby, is this your first time?
No, this will be my fourth time. I've been a server.
Is this everybody's fourth time?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you guys know the gig and how it works, right?
Okay.
Yeah, this will be my 8th time going, and I'm super excited because I know this is a big one, right? Why is this a big one, Natalie?
It's the 50th year.
Yes, 50 years of this great performance. Okay, so let's get into that a little bit. What types of songs are performed at Madrigal, and do you have a favorite? I'd like to hear this from everybody. So why don't we start with, go ahead, Emily.
So it's like mostly just old Christmas songs and like classic carols that everyone knows. There's a part where we like sing along with the audience, and it's really cute. And my favorite song personally is "Oh Holy Night" because there's a solo, and then we all come in together, and it's like Miss Morris likes to call it the wall of sound, and it's just so beautiful, and I love it.
Yes, Abby.
I was actually going to say Oh Holy Night is also my favorite. It's such a magical moment at the very end of the whole thing, and the whole dinner is candlelit, and we blow out the candles during that song, and I just think it's really magical.
Natalie, so you got all kinds of songs you got to sing
Yes.
and know them all.
Yeah.
Right? And lead them all.
Luckily, I've been sitting at the head table for about 3 years now, so I think I got them all down. But I think as much as I love Oh Holy Night, it's so pretty, but I think that my favorite, which I think this is an unpopular opinion, but my favorite is Carol of the Birds. Like, I love how I don't want to say dark it is, but it's very it has like that tone to it, and I love it. It's so pretty.
Chris, how about you?
I really like the fast-paced carols, so I would say Good King Wenceslas is one of my favorites. There's just something about it that I just love singing it every year. So
Okay, good. Bridger.
Well, my favorite song is the Wassail song.
Okay.
We get Wassail, and I've been going to Madrigal performances ever since my oldest brother has been in it since he graduated in 2016. So I've had a lot of Wassail in my days, and I absolutely love it.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, it's very interesting, the different types of songs that you guys like. I think that's pretty cool. That's what makes it so good. You guys got so many to choose from, though. My personal favorite is "Oh Holy Night." It's on, and it's very emotional, actually. And when you guys have the lights are off, it's the candles, and it is a wall of sound, and it is beautiful. So what made you want to be part of Madrigal? Let me start with you, Chris.
Well, it's always just such a great event every year. It's always the same but different, which is a really good thing about it because, I mean, it's always a different group. So it's almost like predictable but unpredictable because you never know what the group's going to be like. So it's a very static event that also changes a lot. So that's a great thing about it.
Okay. What do you like about it, Natalie?
I mean, I really love how it's my favorite time of year. Like, I genuinely, as much as I love our competition season, I absolutely just love Madrigal. And I don't know if it's because it's just a completely different experience. Like my freshman year, I never heard of it. I never knew what it was. And Morris was like, surprise, you have to be in it. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And like just watching our cafeteria where you eat lunch every day turn into this great hall, and there's walls up that and it's all candlelit, and then we're all in our costumes, and it's just completely a completely different experience.
Yeah, and what's really cool is in 4 hours, because lunch is over, and then these swarm of parents come in and just create this castle. It's really cool.
What would we do without the parents?
Oh, I'm telling you, I thank them all the time when I see them, because it's amazing to me the community support we get for this performance too. This is a big deal. And being that it's the 50th year, right? What's something special that is being planned for this that you're aware of? Does anybody know?
We have an extra performance.
Okay, right. We do have an extra performance. I know there's 3 of them on Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. I'm messing the times up. Somebody has the times though. I know that.
It's
no.
1, 4, and 7 on Saturday.
We're gonna have to edit that. 1, 4, and 7 on Saturday, and it's 2 and 5 on Sunday.
Yes.
Okay, and it's 7 o'clock
7
on
o'clock.
Friday.
Yep.
Okay, you want to roll that out? I'm gonna ask it again. So I know we have extra performance, right, Bridger? So what are those times, Natalie? When are the shows happening?
So Friday night it's at 7 o'clock. The Saturday shows are 1, 4, and 7 o'clock, and then our Sunday shows are 2 and 5.
Okay, now what I did hear, the rumor is that the homemade, COVID messed up a lot of things. The homemade carrot cake and rolls are going to be served again at this event. So look at how excited you guys got. So that is something special for 50 years.
Yes.
Okay, I do think that something's going to be given away too for every person that comes to the show as a souvenir too. So look forward to that. I don't want to give that away. You got to go to the show to find out what that is. All right, so obviously you've been doing this 4 years. Does anything really change? Did any of the songs change at all in the time that you've been in there? Because it is the same, but to me it's because there's new kids in there, to me it's a new experience. But I'm just curious if anything has changed over the course of 4 years in doing this. Emily?
So for the most part, no, the basis of it has stayed the same. But our sophomore year, when it was COVID year, it was definitely a little bit different because we did it in the gym or the field house, sorry. And we did have to change a couple songs and stuff. Like the Drifters, they did an extra song. They did Carol the Bells. And yeah, so it was definitely, it didn't feel quite as magical, but it was still good.
To me, that was probably my favorite because of the circumstances and what you guys pulled off in there. That it was unbelievable. Just for the record, I just want to tell you that. It was really good. Okay, so I know the Madrigal sells out every year, and which is amazing to me because we're talking about hundreds of people going to this all the time. And I know for the 50th year, it's a hot ticket in Chesterton, to the point now where we only got single tickets left. So if you want to buy a single ticket, you still have a chance. Where do you go, Chris, to get
You can
those?
go to showtix4u.com.
All right, showtix4u.com. I think you can access that from our school website and the Madrigal Facebook site. Okay, so I want to talk about the costumes. One of the best things about Madrigal is the ambiance, or as my dad likes to say, the circuses, right? Not only do you feel like you're in a castle, but all the performers are dressed like the time. So tell us a little bit about the costumes, Chris.
So they're very, stylistically fit to the time period. So, I mean, it's just another way to immerse yourself where you are. It's really cool to see them all. And there's always the costume fittings too. It's it's just as fun for us as it is for everybody else to see them, to get them, because there's always fights for the different costumes. We all have the costume that we want to wear a certain year. So yeah, the costumes are a big part of it.
Okay, so what student groups are involved in Madrigal? Is it just, I mean, I know it's the music department putting it on, but is there anybody outside of your group that joins? Is there what part of the music department? Yes, Abby.
So I'd say the main actors and actresses in the show are the Sandpipers and the Drifters. The Drifters are doing our unisex show choir group. We are the servers. Then the Sandpipers are a mixed show choir group. They are at the head table performing. We also have a student orchestra that plays. They're very talented. We have I know people that play recorders. Just lots of really good orchestra people. We have the jesters, and I think there's additional servers. I believe they come from just the regular choirs like bel canto, camerata. Yeah.
So how many students are actually in the production, would you say?
I think it changes every year, just based on like who all wants to be involved, how many are needed.
Over 100.
But there's way over
Okay.
100.
So, wow, that's a lot of people. So how do they do auditions for this? How did you guys audition for your parts? Bridger.
Well, you don't really audition there are auditions for certain roles in the Madrigal. So like Lord, for instance, and Lady of the House, more prominent and like important roles that have more lines or more singing parts in the show itself. So really what we basically did is we basically went in front of a piano. We had everybody wanted to try out for Steward and Lord, and there's also the monk, and we sang the parts that were needed for the tryout, which was the song that the Lord sings, and the song that the Steward sings, and the song that the monk sings, and the song that the Lady of the House sings, and also O Holy Night. And basically Miss Morris decided who she thought was the one who's the best. So that's basically
Okay, so Miss Morris is making that final call based on everybody's desire. So let's talk a little bit about the directors of the play of Madrigal. Is it just Miss Morris? Is there other people involved? And who would like to talk a little bit about that? Emily?
Okay.
And you guys can all join in on this answer if you'd like.
So it's mainly Miss Morris and Mr. Arizzi. It's both kind of a joint effort. And there's also this woman named Grandma B, is what we like to call her, and she is basically like the queen of Madrigal. She's been running this thing for years and years, and she's just she's just the Madrigal higher power.
She's the true lady of the house. She knows everything
she's
Madrigal.
She's the true lady of the house,
and then
right?
Mr. Clark always comes in and helps us. He helps us with our show choir show as well, but he always comes in and helps more towards our rehearsals where we're in the cafeteria with the dress rehearsals and stuff. He just kind of stands in the back and listens and is like, oh, I can't really hear you, maybe you talk a little bit louder. But yeah, all of them, it wouldn't be possible without any of them. They all pitch in so much to this event.
So you guys are part of the music department, so you're probably, and I believe you're all pretty much, almost all of you are in the musical right now. So you spent a lot of time with Miss Morris over the course of the last month before we get into show choir season, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Okay. Along those lines of performances, so how long does it take to prepare for this performance?
Yeah, so we usually start right after our fall concert, which is mid-October. We start learning Madrigal music. It doesn't take us too long just because a lot of the people are returning cast members. So we already know the music. It's just getting the new people acquainted. And then of course we have to do fittings for costumes, and we have to learn bell parts for the drifters and things like that.
All right. So I have a question. This is kind of off on another tangent here, but because you guys are all done this 4 years, you know how it runs. You've heard the songs over and over again. How do you remember all these songs? I mean, you always go from one after the other, and it is just flowing. I mean, is it hard to pick up on that, or is that relatively easy for you guys? And I'm curious, Chris, why don't you?
I mean, for me, it's been really easy just because it's such a memorable event, and a lot of these songs are just earworms in general that I just I feel like most of us can find ourselves singing them before Madrigal starts, after Madrigal's over.
Okay.
It's all over all the time. So
there's a lot of passion involved in this, right, Abby?
Passion and practice. There is so much rehearsal, so much repetition. I don't think it is possible to forget the words to these songs between like the after school practices. You have class where you sing the songs. There's just a lot of work that goes into it. But it's definitely passion driven. I'll say that.
Okay, is there anything surprising about the Madrigal Dinner that the average spectator wouldn't expect? So there's going to be new people coming to this one. Or is there anything else additionally you'd like to share regarding Madrigal? Go ahead, Bridger.
Well, there is a boar head, and it's on a silver platter. There's also a flaming pudding that is legitimately on fire. So,
okay, that is why we have
come and see that.
That is why we have firemen on stage.
I always think that's really funny when because you're so put into the whole experience, and then you look back in the corner, and then there's just the two firemen on you that are just like cross-armed watching the show.
Yeah. Is there anything?
I was going to say, I never expected the whole thing to be candlelit. Like, it's in a high school cafeteria, but you cannot tell.
Yeah, the only thing that's not candlelit is the head table. Like, the spotlights, but the spotlights look like they're candle lights, so you can't even tell.
It's just so immersive. Like, I remember my freshman year, the first time walking into the Great Hall, and I was like, this is not our cafeteria. Like, it just looks so different.
And when people tell you that, though, you don't believe them. You're like, what do you mean? Like, you'll always be able to tell it's a cafeteria. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then you walk through that tunnel with the stained glass windows, and you're just like, oh, this is what they meant. Like, it's something, when I was a freshman, it was something that so many seniors and upperclassmen explained to me was you don't know until you go. Like, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into until you walk through that tunnel and you see it all, and you're like, you're just in awe.
Yeah, that was a great explanation. I think it's an experience, right? And we really encourage everybody who's going to the show to really take that experience in, because not only are they in a situation where it's something totally different, but total talent. You're going to see nothing but talent. It is an A-plus class show, and I can't say enough good things about what you guys do to prepare for this, and the passion and the pride and the practice. It all comes out, and it is a wonderful thing. So to close, I'd like to ask if you guys could come together now and sing something just for about 20 seconds to give them a little taste. Can you come up with one portion of a song that we can do right now?
What parts do we have here?
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Very good. Awesome. Okay, well, that's going to wrap things up for this week's edition of the CHS Weekly Report. I'd like to thank my guests, members of the 50th Annual Chesterton High School Madrigal Dinner, for coming in and talking to us today. This has been Brent Martinson signing off. And remember, if you believe it, you can achieve it.